first ever vlog. I recently accepted an internship for strength and conditioning with Clemson University, working with men's basketball. It's a really awesome opportunity for me to grow in my field, but in addition, due to COVID, the whole internship got moved online. And so I do want to take a little bit of time and share with you all some of the ideas, the principles, and philosophies that I've been able to learn during this time. So I've completed my first week, and it's been really great, really stimulating, I would say. And it's definitely helped in some certain areas of my career where I've spent years and years trying to figure out different ideas, and the amazing coaching staff, Coach Bealey and Coach Cunningham, have somewhat summarized some of the ideas I have spent years working on into maybe a 15-minute idea, and it's really like expedited some of my learning process. Many of the things we have learned aren't related to strength and conditioning, so no matter what your field is, I do hope that you're able to glean some insight from this. So first off, one of the first things we did was to take a personality test, and we took the Gary Smalley test, which was really insightful. It kind of explained basically if you were a lion, an otter, a retriever, or a beaver. And so each personality type has its own strengths and weaknesses. I personally fell into the lion category, which means I'm bold, I'm a leader, I'm outspoken, but on the flip side, I definitely can be hard to talk to at times, as well as sarcastic and self-relying. And if you know me well, I'm sure you're laughing at that second portion there. I brought this up to my girlfriend, and she's like, "Yep, that's definitely you." But one of the really interesting things was we need a variety of personality traits on our teams. Otherwise, if we have too many of the same personalities, we run into weaknesses. So if you have a hiring opportunity, or you're just selecting those around you, make sure that you have a diverse group of people around you. One of the next really important ideas we learned about was decentralized command. And this was actually from Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership. And this book is about a number of different military principles that he learned during war as a SEAL commander, and how we can apply them in our everyday setting. And one of the interesting things that the coaches talked about was, as a coaching staff, we don't have to control every single player. We don't have to get on every single player. But if we can have leaders among the team and we just go talk to the 2 or 3 leaders, they're the ones who have to take control of everyone else. And so instead of leading from the top and just pushing everyone down beneath you, you actually empower those beneath you to lead each other. So one of the ideas was that instead of punishing an individual or the entire team if they mess something up, you actually would punish the individual as well as the leader who is directly over them. So let's say in a team setting, you have a team captain or whoever at that time was in the leadership role, and then the individual player, and those two would be punished. And so the idea that your peers will actually bring each other up and push each other and motivate each other, rather than just us as coaches pushing them down. I really like this idea. All right, and then a couple of the other things that I really took away from my first week was some of the tests we had to do, and I'll actually show a couple of different videos. So there's a test called the FMS, the Functional Movement Screen, and we use this in strength and conditioning to identify different weak mobility or movement areas, like issues with athletes. And after performing the screen, we can actually quickly identify whether or not an athlete should perform certain movements. However, due to COVID, most of us can't get into the gyms, so we actually had to be fairly creative and come up with our own ideas of how we could actually create the movement screens at home. And so it really challenged me to, with basically no budget, to figure out how I could perform the same screens and get the same type of feedback that you'd get from using a more expensive system. And then the last thing I would say, like quotes that I got that really were important. And one of the biggest one was, being elite requires an elite effort. So often we want to be great in our field, or we want to be great as an athlete, but we don't give 100% effort into this. So in the strength and conditioning setting, an athlete comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to go pro." And you can ask them, like, does your effort reflect that? And I think also just us personally, I don't know what your goals are, but whatever they may be, just ask yourself, Does your effort reflect the goals that you want to reach? And if not, something has to be done. All right, well, thank you for watching my first week, my first episode, and look forward to sharing more with you.